Every day on this channel, I go through everything Elon said on X in the last 24 hours. And here's how many times Elon posted about each subject today. I'll cover everything he said about each topic before moving on to the next one. And starting with Tesla. Tesla is back at number 1. The Tesla Model Y was Europe's best-selling car in September, returning to the number 1 slot for the first time in 9 months. And Elon reposted that same announcement from Doge designer as well. And Forbes reports that US regulators are probing Tesla's new Mad Max mode over safety concerns. The new Mad Max mode allows FSD to operate at higher speeds above posted speed limits. We've always been able to do that with FSD, but Mad Max, I guess, just takes it to a new level. But Nick Patane is rolling his eyes saying, "Here we go," and Elon says it's not really like Mad Max. That's a joke. And Tesla is also working on robots, and Meta's chief AI scientist Yann LeCun offers a critical take on the humanoid robot boom.
Okay, the big secret of the industry is that none of those companies, any idea how to make those robots smart enough to be useful, or I should say smart enough to be generally used, okay? We can train those robots for particular tasks, maybe in manufacturing and things like this, right. But your domestic robot, there is a bunch of breakthroughs that need to arrive in AI before that's possible. So the future of a lot of those companies essentially depends on whether we're going to make progress, significant progress towards those kind of one model planning architecture.
So basically, Yann is saying if we're going to get a truly autonomous domestic robot, we need some fundamental AI breakthroughs. This means moving towards current generative models and toward world planning type architectures. Systems that can learn to understand and predict the physical world. So the future of these billion-dollar startups, he says, depends entirely on this next wave of AI research. And Yunta is a senior staff engineer at Tesla, and he says at the beginning of Autopilot, we did not know what we were doing nor what we could have accomplished. Looking back, I'm glad we tried. The difference between academia and engineering is that the latter has shown ingenuity to defy the odds, industrializing the magic. Dan says it's funny that what LeCun says the industry needs is what Tesla is already doing per Ashok's recent blog post. And Yunta said Ashok still writes code, by the way, and Elon reposted that. And Elon hasn't commented on this post from Tehran, but that whole thread made me think of it. Tesla collects 4.3 million hours of driving data every day for free to train a 2 degree of freedom system, just steering and throttle. Yet full autonomy remains unsolved. These frontier humanoid robotic startups and labs collect or purchase 0.01 million to about 1 million hours of data every month, every certain amount of months, for millions of dollars to train at least 14 degrees of freedom systems in humanoids. And they're trying to master general purpose manipulation. He says the scale, cost, and gap. I mean, we've heard Elon talking recently a lot about how hard Optimus is. But back to what Elon has commented on, Yunta said Tesla has a very unique way to incubate leaderships. Because we are deeply mission-oriented, each one of us really care what we work on. You often see people organically organize, assigning tasks, and taking on initiatives. More motivated employees would carry the balls all the way to the finish line, picking up tasks that are falling behind. They eventually become the natural leaders that can weather extreme heat and cold. They do this not for the perfect package or like to be called tech lead. They do this because they care. And this Neuralink employee says this is common across all Elon companies. And Elon replied saying, bullseye. And over at SpaceX, they've increased the median Starlink network performance by over 50% just since January, with average download speeds now over 200 megabits per second. And this is all before Starlink version 3 has launched. It's amazing, and Elon reposted this. And today, Grok has released a new companion called Mika. Could also be Micah, I'm not sure. And they released a full 42-second video, I guess, of some lore for Micah or Mika. There's some music that I can't share, but she's kind of an emo vibe. And now she has her own X account, and Elon says, talk to Mika. So, Grok now has 5 companions. And Valentine says hello to Mika. Maybe they'll start dating. I can't wait to see how this unfolds. But Annie also said hi to Mika. This could get interesting. And Doge Designer gives a Grok Companions overview of all the different things that you can do. Elon says it's a good overview. Let's hear what Mika has to say.
So grab the update, say hi, and let's see where the night goes.
Did you know you can turn on your camera when talking to Grok Companion? It makes your chat feel more real and fun, and Elon reposted this. Who is your favorite Grok Companion? Elon says good Rudy is great for kids' stories and education. Bad Rudy is definitely not safe for work, but very funny. If you turn off not safe for work in Grok settings, you won't get any NSFW. And did you know you can save and share video clips from your Grok companion conversations? Elon says if you have a fun interaction, share it. And you can tap anywhere on the screen to enter full immersion mode in Grok companions. And these companions speak many languages and can teach you how to speak almost any language too. So it could be an interesting way to learn other languages. And the Grok app now includes a kids mode, as we talked about earlier. And Elon said a friend of mine just pointed out that Grok Kids mode has exactly the same settings as what companies demand for enterprise mode. We have indeed infantilized businesses in modern society. Doge designer says Grok is starting to feel like an everything AI app. It's crazy how much you can do within one app. I will scroll through this in case you guys are interested in slowing down the video and taking a look, but Elon reposted it. And with the introduction of Mika, this XAI employee says, I'm proud of both the Companion and Imagine team. We didn't have any usable video generation models 3 months ago, and most efforts started 3 months ago. Elon says XAI is moving faster than any other AI company. In the end, victory is a function of speed. And here are the top 4 AI companies and their missions and goals. XAI wants to understand the universe and build maximally truth-seeking AI. OpenAI says we build a non-profit AI to benefit humanity. XFreeze writes, here comes lies, manipulation, threats, lawfare against former employees. Google DeepMind, who knows what they want. Anthropic decisively talk about safety, safety, safety while being on an utterly destructive course, and Elon reposted this. And as we saw yesterday, Elon joined a video call with researchers, archaeologists, and students studying ancient Rome, and he donated $1 million to support their research on the ancient civilization. And the mayor of Rome thanked Elon and the Musk Foundation for their support and for their dedication and assistance in safeguarding Rome and its heritage. Elon said happy to help. And moving on from technology, Scott Jennings says Democrat after Democrat called Trump and Elon and all of them Nazis. They accused Hegseth of Nazi tattoos, and now the most popular Democratic Senate candidate in America, we're talking about Graham Plattner, has actual Nazi tattoos and the full backing of the radical Sanders wing of the Democratic Party. You gotta own it. Elon says, the guy with the Nazi tattoo is winning the Democrat primary by 30 points. Getting a Nazi tattoo made him more popular among Democrats, says Mario. He's running in Maine, he's got the tattoo, and he also trained a left-wing paramilitary group and called himself an Antifa super soldier online, and he's going up every day. Your party is now in love with a guy you would have called a Nazi 2 years ago. Good luck getting him out. And Elon reposted this. And Representative Hakeem Jeffries, the House Democratic leader, endorsed Zohran Mamdani in the race for mayor of New York City. Jeffries emphasized that the party needed to unite in the face of an existential threat from President Trump. And Elon raises an eyebrow at this one. And Don Keith says that Trump doing red carpet commentary on world leaders is hilarious.
Okay, who the is this guy? These Europeans all look like accountants. Yes, sir. I come to do your taxes. Okay, thank you, sir. Ah, the British Prime Minister, they say this guy is gay. I don't know if that's true or not. I just think he's a dork. Hey, this guy is definitely gay, and his wife is a man, and she beats him. Well, poor guy. Georgia Maloney. I love her. I told her and Elon that if they ever have a kid, they better name him Eloni Maloney.
Greg Jewishstein says, Eloni Maloney. And Zach Galifianakis just can't keep it together. And Elon has a laugh at that one. And in this exclusive, Human Events has obtained undercover footage of an Abigail Spanberger campaign organizer laughing and rolling her eyes when discussing the campaign's reaction to the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Thank you for taking time.
No, thank you for taking time. I think that you're busier than I am. I'm here complaining about how a lot this is, but it seems like you do more moving than I do.
And I want to know Abigail better. Obviously, the candidate's always going to be doing so many different things. I feel like Virginia is a little bit of a hot spot for everything. Like, far right is like crazy right now.
I can't legally talk about the Charlie thing, but if you want to talk about the Charlie thing, I have all the ears for you in the world. Like, I want to hear your thoughts.
I mean, so I try to stay away from the news and just get my formulated opinion. I don't know. Like, obviously, death is terrible.
Fair.
But, like, I don't know. What do you think?
I would be sad if you had died. I don't think think I would have. I'll leave it there.
What do you mean?
You seem like a good person.
But you're not sad about
Can I say the same for Charlie? Did he seem like a good person? I'll just leave that there. Our stance on it for the most part has been we denounce political violence. We
I get it.
I get it.
Yep.
denounce political violence and we are staying very far from that.
So Elon responded to that saying, wow. And viewer discretion is advised for this next section. Matt Van Swoel ran down the rabbit hole last night and what he's discovered is shocking. I searched through thousands of arrests in my county and every single Hispanic individual who's been arrested is labeled as white. Not one, not two, but there's hundreds. How long has this been going on? Lauren says, however bad the crime stats appear, the reality is even worse. I've never seen a white man accidentally booked as black or Hispanic. The accidents only ever happen one way. Elon says, has anyone seen the reverse of white booked as other? If not, then this is obviously extremely deliberate. Matt says, just when I think I've seen it all, court documents in the case against Emil Lagos Herrera, the illegal immigrant from Honduras who allegedly robbed multiple businesses in Charlotte, is labeled as a white male in court documents. You cannot make this stuff up. I was just reading up on the case to make sure I got the facts right and stumbled on this. How often does this happen? It's pretty obvious that this man is Hispanic considering he has an ICE detainer to be deported to Honduras. Extremely suspicious, and Elon says there's many such cases. And Charles responded to Matt saying they are more worried about offender-race ratios and appearance of a racist justice system than they are about truth, patterns, and public safety. And Elon reposted this. Even Troy Wallace is listed as white. Andrew says we cannot trust crime stats in America. They have been widely corrupted to serve a racist agenda. Elon said true. And Matt Walsh says 2 years ago, this piece of garbage, Deshaun Stafford, assaulted and killed a white kid named Ethan Liming. He was sentenced to just 18 months in prison. Now he has killed another person, Timothy Hutchinson of 25. When will we have had enough of this? How long will our communities be held hostage by these barbarians? Elon responded with an exclamation mark. And these two African nationals were just given probation for raping a 14-year-old girl in Utah. Sadie says, personally, I don't think they should be breathing oxygen anymore. They videotaped themselves raping her after they got her drunk, but the deputy district attorney who handled the case says there's no evidence of coercion or force. Elon replied saying, terrible. And over in the UK, a dad dies of grief after the daughter of 12 was raped and beheaded by a legal immigrant. Basil the Great says, how do you not want to destroy the entire world around you after something like this happens? How do you not hate the politicians who let these people in? Her mother is still alive, alone, her entire family shredded by globalists letting barbarians into our homes. I hate them so much. They've done unimaginable damage to millions of little girls and their families. And Elon quoted that again saying, terrible. And more in the UK, these three men held a schoolgirl hostage with a machete to her throat and raped her multiple times. And they've now been convicted. Elon responded with 2 exclamation marks. And he gave another 2 exclamation marks to Tommy Robinson posting this video. The video features a Nigerian missionary describing Fulani militant attacks on Christian villages near Gaboko, including the burning of homes and crops in Gubat and the burial of 29 victims in Fengzai. And the world is not talking about it for some reason, so Elon gives 2 exclamation marks. And in Sweden, migrant men of non-European origin commit 84% of assault rapes in Sweden, despite only making up less than 10% of the country's population. An Algerian migrant is 122 times more likely to commit aggravated rape than a Swede, and an Afghan is 69 times more likely. And to that, Elon says, wow. And back to the UK, a Sudanese migrant who stabbed a hotel worker 23 times with a screwdriver has been found guilty of murder. After the attack, the killer was caught on CCTV leaving the station, throwing the victim's phone into a river, buying alcohol, and returning to the hotel. When police arrived, they discovered footage showing the Sudanese migrant laughing and dancing to music in the hotel parking lot after the brutal murder. In court, the murderer said, I saw blue lights of the police car, but I didn't think it was a problem. I thought it was just music and dancing like usual. The court learned that the killer had arrived in the UK from Germany, where he had been granted legal residency documents. And Elon reposted this. And Peter says that victim, Rhiannon White, wasn't just murdered by an asylum seeker. She was murdered by a system that idly waved him through the border and stashed him in the hotel where she worked. She was murdered by members of parliament who did nothing to fix things and by campaigners demanding open borders. and Elon reposted that. And Harvey Wilgoose stayed at home the week before he was stabbed. They locked down the school because his soon-to-be killer brought a knife in to stab him. So why didn't they expel Omar, the kid with the knife? Harvey returned Monday after and then was killed. Elon says, terrible. And Michael O'Keefe says that the Irish media is accusing me and Elon of inciting hatred because Elon shared this post. It was this post where Michael said the African man arrested for raping a 10-year-old Irish girl earlier today is a failed asylum seeker with an active deportation order since March. This man should not have been in Ireland, and because Elon reposted it, it got almost 15 million views. And the post is just a screenshot of a report from the Irish media. So sharing their own reporting is inciting hatred? No, they're angry because the post was seen by millions of people all over the world, and the failures of the Irish government's migration policy are now impossible to cover up. And Elon reposted this. And just in, Texas Ken Paxton announced that radical doctor May Lau has surrendered her medical license after getting sued for prescribing dangerous gender transition drugs to children, calling it a huge win. Elon said these modern-day Mengele are just beginning to pay for their heinous crimes of child mutilation. And just one Grok Imagine post for us today, this little dog running through the street. So that is everything that Elon said today. It started out pretty technical. We were talking about humanoid robots and that it's a lot harder than maybe people think, and that we really need breakthroughs in world model development, world models of generating worlds to really expedite the training. And then we also saw Grok Companions release Mika. We learned about this Democratic candidate running for Senate in Maine who's got Nazi tattoos. And then we got Aloni Maloney. We got misreporting on crime statistics. And of course, some more brutal murder stories. And if you guys want early access to these daily videos, you can gain access by joining the channel as a member. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.